big head. There's big head. Where are you sitting?
It's already recording. Who do we have a call with right now?
Giving our yellow, replacement yellow.
I look naked. Not naked.
Oh, you were not in.
You need to get in. Maybe move a chair over.
I was going to move it behind.
Move the telescope.
Or maybe move the.
Maybe move the camera.
Oh, move this.
Wait, where's the? Yeah, we don't want to.
Look. Move this. I need help. Somebody has to lift it up. I can't.
Move that. Move all this. Oh, whoa.
You just hold it.
Slow.
Yeah,
That's
That's
one.
one. You have to lift it up and slide it. Hold it up.
Oh, this is dangerous. My feet are going to kind of like under your butt.
Make sure your crotch is
It's fine. Just there.
There's a crotch shot.
Hey.
Yeah.
Good to know you.
There's my crotch.
See.
Okay, back.
It's fun.
I know.
It's recording.
You need to get a seat.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna sit actually right here on the edge of Lindsay Mountains.
And if you kind of tuck your feet under their butts, then you'll fall.
Sorry, I got it. That was fine.
Look at these crazies. Hey.
I like having my boobs. Can you stop it? I know my shirt. Adjust like my bra. What's happening?
Don't cry. Don't
This is better than a mirror. Don't say that.
I just can't.
Wait, who's gonna cry?
I can't.
You'll cry. I don't even know what I want to ask.
I don't have, that's what we were
I
saying.
don't have a question.
I don't either.
Like I just want to be like, hi. Want to go out to dinner?
Yeah, all of us. We like you.
You're so cute.
6:59.
We've been waiting here since 1 o'clock.
Wow.
Wasn't this call 5 hours ago?
Wait. Everyone, like, lean in. What are we doing? Come on.
Is this going to be like our house? It's going to be,
I would say, right?
we're going to see our actual house? Like we're best friends.
We are.
We should have each taken selfies with them.
I know.
We should have just like
Did she take
I
that
didn't
selfie
take
in her
any pictures.
camera?
That was
She's
her
having a
camera.
double date mani-pedis with Bonnie Angle tonight.
Oh my God.
Can I see Bonnie Angle? Because I feel like I don't know.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Do they live near each other?
Yeah,
Bonnie
she
just
actually,
moved down
yeah,
here.
she lives.
Did she move here?
So now that I'm
with
working
her?
under water, that means
Because they're close, right? She kind of seems like she'd be like a good older sister for Bonnie. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, she's much more mature, I feel like. I get a much, like, more sense of maturity.
How old
Bonnie's
is
really
Bonnie?
young. Bonnie's
Yeah.
younger than I am. Isn't she like
Bonnie
24,
was-
25?
She's
She's
young.
like 24.
She have any
Is she
kids?
the one that was
No.
doing the, what group was that? One of the invite groups? The
Yes,
dance
the
search?
search.
And she was outside and her boobies were like up here.
And there was construction in the background.
Yeah, and she had music on. Boobies.
Yeah.
But she got her boobies removed since then?
No, that's
no,
what I
that's
did. A different girl.
Oh.
I don't know that Bonnie has boobies. Does she have
She
boobies?
definitely
She's just
like,
lucky.
yeah, she might be.
She's
Or
just,
she's
she's
like
just
24.
24.
I love
She's
that.
kids.
My fat head. Like, you're so
It's
fat.
huge.
Look at it. Anyone was looking for Lori Fathead.
Oh my God.
Just print that picture out. She might have ran to get a glass of wine, but I said it. Okay. She texted me at 6:00.
Yeah, that would have been nice to get. I was like, we didn't even think about that.
But we got a group
Well, I
shot.
even felt awkward at that day with Super Friday. I was like, oh, it'd be awkward.
Oh my God, Denise is teasing us. She said, why can't people follow directions?
I wonder what like a
That's
day
what
in the
it's
life of autumn looks like, you know?
Ask her. She'll cry.
I'll ask for
I
you.
will.
I'm asking for her because she will cry when she asks us. So she'll just fall backwards on the couch.
So,
Is this going to count as my 3 minutes on Zoom?
I know.
Doesn't matter.
That's
Like,
why
you
I
really
was
don't
like,
need
you
to
had, like,
like,
extra
extra
time.
We were like, we'll give that extra time.
Hi. Can you guys see me okay?
Ken.
Okay, good. I'm doing this from my phone, so I was like, I hope they can see me.
I can see you.
Hi, thank you so much. This is so awesome.
My pleasure. You guys having a good day?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm good. Good.
Thanks for dealing with my lack of understanding the time zone difference.
No, it's okay. I was just like, oh my God, did I mess it up? And then I was like, wait, we said 4. And I was panicked because I had hard meetings that there was like no changing them. I was like, no, what did I do? So
Oh my gosh.
glad we worked it out.
We, as you know, we're a young team, like 2.5 years old, and we're here at Lindsay Matway's place in Clearwater, having a blast.
Fantastic.
We have a room full of diamond coaches, and each one has a question for you. We
Yeah.
all actually, like, you're our favorite. Like, you changed all of our lives. I know you get that all the time, but, like, this is a room full of, like, you're the reason why we love Beachbody and, do this. And our kids think you're our coach.
I love that.
Yeah, so I think a lot of us thought, you were going to be here. Like, a lot of our kids thought you were going to be here. And so you're here.
Aw, I'm here.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you want to say anything to us? Do you want us to just ask you questions?
Well, I mean, I'm excited to be on with you guys, so thank you, and that means so much to me. So thank you guys for having me on and for doing all that you do, and I appreciate that Lori asked to have me on because, like I said, some people get shy about it. I'm like, don't be shy, just ask me, I'm here. But yeah, let's just dive into your guys' questions. Like, that's what I'm here for. So whoever wants to take the first one, we'll take it away.
Awesome. Who wants to ask us the first? Yeah.
Okay, so earlier we were talking about when someone gets stuck, like say someone's doing the program and they are doing the containers and they're in the right bracket, and they're doing the workouts. What would you tell them if they're stuck? Like, do you tell them to go to a different bracket? Do you tell them to try different foods? Where do you go from there?
So there's a couple of places we have to go from there. Actually, we have to make it individual at that point, because obviously the container system is written sort of for the masses, but at the same time, everybody is an individual. And so there might be little things that need to be tweaked for each person. So the first thing we ask is, obviously, are they following all the steps? So if that answer is yes, right? They're doing all the workouts, they're eating the right containers, they're getting all that done. Then we ask, are you eating from the top 1/3 of each of the container lists? Because the lists go in the hierarchy. So the foods at the top of the list are the best of the best, and the foods at the bottom are the ones that you can have, but they're not the best, right? You've got waffles and pancakes and things like that, tortilla shells towards the bottom. So for some people, they might still be able to have all that on a regular basis. But if somebody gets stuck, it might be time to start to weed those things out, right? So that's the next step is, okay, well, what else do we need to weed out? Do we need to maybe get rid of some more of the processed food? Are you eating too much salt when you cook your food so that you're retaining water? So I start to sort of dive into a little bit more of what exactly they're eating. Do we need to look at what they're eating and when? So are they saving their yellows and maybe eating those a little bit later at night, and they need to move that up to earlier in the day, because that will really help make a difference. You need to ask them about how hard they're pushing in their workout, and that's usually not a one question. Because if I say, are you working hard enough in your workout? They're going to say yes. So the next question is, are you ever sore? If they say no, they're probably need to step it up again. They might need to bump their weights up. They might need to try to move from 21-day fix to 21-day fix extreme. You shouldn't be sore every single day, but if you get to the point where the workouts have sort of become pretty easy and you're not struggling as you're doing each round, you're not working to your max anymore. You're working at a maintenance level, which is why you're going to maintain. you're not going to keep losing. You will be stuck. So if they're still looking for those results, they need to still be sort of pushing and struggling through those workouts. So that's another thing. Then you have to start looking at their day-to-day life. And this is where it really comes down to coaching and caring. And I think this is a big deal because it can be scary as a coach to start to talk to somebody about their personal life, but personal life plays a huge role in our weight loss goals. So you need to know if they're sleeping. Are you getting enough sleep? How much sleep are you getting? Oh, I'm only getting 5 hours. Great. Well, there's the big problem right there. Your cortisol levels are too high. You're not actually resting. Our bodies need rest to recover. So if they aren't getting enough sleep, then we need to talk to them about that, explain why they need 8 hours at least. And a lot of people are going to give you the excuse that I just don't have time to sleep more. Well, we say this all the time. If it's a priority, you're going to figure it out. Like you can find at least 6 or 7 hours a night to sleep. You need to, it's for your health. That's what it's about. But there's other questions. And again, we're not counselors or anything like that. But if somebody's going through a really stressful time in their life, maybe they're having a relationship problem. Maybe they're in the middle of a divorce. Maybe they have a sick parent or a parent who just passed away, or they're in a fight with their very best friend, or their kids struggling at school. Any of those things that can be causing them an extreme amount of stress will cause their cortisol levels to rise. And cortisol is the hormone that's basically going to cause fat retention in your body. So they might not even realize that they're super stressed out, but they are. Like, right? They might be like, no, I'm handling it. I'm surviving. I'm getting through it. And yes, they very well could be, but they might be stuck for a minute where, okay, like, look, let's not focus on the number on the scale or the inches or anything like that. Let's right now just focus on your health. Like, you're going through a hard time. If somebody has a sick parent or a dying parent, that's a lot of stress, right? So yes, weight loss is important, but that's not the most important thing. Let's focus on, like, emotionally, are you okay? Do you need somebody to talk to? I'm here for you. Call me if you want to cry it out. Let's go for a walk. Like come over and work out with me. Sometimes it's better to have a workout buddy. It's things like that. So there's so much that can be going on when they get stuck. And that's where having a coach is so important, and being a coach is so important. You just can't be afraid to ask the deeper questions, because that's where the answer really is going to lie. Does that answer that question? Is there another part to that question?
No, that's perfect. I did a sleep challenge last month, a free group, and most people got 5 to 6 hours a night. Most people. Brutal. Yeah, and everybody had, like, I have anxiety. I learned I didn't know I was going to learn as much as I did, but I don't often think of those outside factors all the time, so good to be more aware of it.
Yeah. Even if you make a list, like, even if you guys made a list for yourselves of, like, oh yeah, these are the other questions, like when my challengers start saying they're getting stuck, have a go-to list, because sometimes they might not be at the forefront of your mind of, like, oh, what was it that Autumn said I should be double checking about? Like, there's nothing wrong with having a list. Oh, well, what about this? What about your sleep? Well, what about stress levels? Well, how are the kids doing? Well, like, all those things. You can just sort of run the checklist with them. And then if you come across one that's not in alignment, then you can help them focus on that.
How do you handle the people that always seem to have an excuse and they do not get through a full 21 days without either going out and binging or missing workouts or drinking their shake every day? They always just seem to, like, stumble and not get through those first 3 weeks.
So there's 2 components to that, and I'll sort of give the nice version first, and then I'll give my tough love version, because you'll have to decide for yourself where they fall. So the nice version is for some people, because obviously when I run test groups here at Beachbody and we cast people, like, I get people that have had that, when we did the original 21-day fix, I had many people in the test group that were well over 400 pounds. Those are not people who are just like, they just have a little excuse. Those are people who are using food to deal with extreme trauma. Like one of the guys in our group, Dion, who ended up losing 111 pounds, like his grandma was raising him. No, it was his grandpa was raising him. And he was 12 years old. He walked in the bedroom one day to wake his grandpa up to take him to school. His grandpa was dead. So he was the one who found his grandfather dead, who was really like his father, because that's who was taking care of him. He ended up going into foster care for a while until like an aunt took him in, I think. But while he was in foster care, the foster care that he was in, they put a lock on the refrigerator. So the kids were only allowed to eat at certain times. So whenever he was allowed to eat as a kid, he would binge eat because he didn't know when the refrigerator would be unlocked again. That is a serious emotional trauma that was deeply ingrained in him. He had mess ups all the time on the program. And with him, it was like, yes, for me, it was super frustrating because I was like, Dion, come on, get it together. Like, you're a grown up. Like, we're not gonna use these excuses. But at the same time, you have to recognize that, like, again, this is deeply rooted and a very big issue for somebody to overcome. So you have to, again, know the challenger that you're helping a little bit. Even if it's asking questions, I understand, if when you're getting to know somebody, you don't want to pry too much too fast. But if you know that they are dealing with something that has long been rooted in them, that is really something they might just be working through, and they might have a lot of self-hate because of it. They might have a lot of like unforgiving to themselves, or I'm a failure, and they're subconsciously, they sort of sabotage themselves, like, because they don't feel good enough to even have success. And again, those are very deep-rooted issues that is not always easy for a coach to deal with. We're not even always qualified to deal with it. Sometimes they need to seek help from a therapist as well. So if you're dealing with somebody, like I said, like that, then that's for you to recognize and do your best to be a friend and a coach, and to sort of show them the love and be like, you know what? You fell off the wagon. I get it. Let's just get right back on. Like, you still have a goal. Let's keep working towards it. You don't have to be perfect, right? Because you know that they've got enough hate towards themselves that, like, they don't need one more person pointing out their failure. Then there's the other person, and this person is the person who just doesn't want to take responsibility for their actions and probably isn't quite ready to make the change. And those people too can always have an excuse and a reason. And it's, oh, well, yeah, I was good all week, so I went drinking with my buddies all weekend, or I went out with the girls, and oh, I didn't get my workout in because the kids were bothering me today. And it's just always something. And that's where, for me, and this was just me personally, when I was working with clients, that's where tough love would come in. And I would say, like, look, I'm doing my end of the job. So, like, just so we're clear, we're not going to put this on me. I show up, I take you through your workouts, I give you all the nutritional advice I can give you, but it's up to you to follow it. So I can lead a horse to water, but I can't get them to drink. Like, I can't force them to drink it. And that's sort of what is also happening. And you can walk the line of a little bit of a tough love approach of, like, look, you're here. You signed up for this. Like, but you can't be mad if you don't get the results because you're not doing the work. I'm here to help you in any way I can, but I notice there's a lot of excuses all the time. So if you need help, like somebody to help you figure out how to organize your day better, I'm happy to walk through your day with you and talk about that so we can find the time to schedule your workout. Like, maybe that's what you need to do. But ultimately, you have to make the choice to do the workouts, to drink your shake, to eat right, to not go out and party on the weekends and that sort of thing. It's only 21 days. So if this is really important to you, then it's up to you to make the sacrifice. And again, it can be said nicely, but with a tough love sort of oomph to it. And I've told plenty of coaches, when you get somebody like that, who's excuse after excuse after excuse, at a certain point, it's your call not to waste your energy on them anymore. I'm not saying you have to kick them out of your group or anything like that, but you don't have to feel like you're just pouring massive amounts of energy into somebody that's not giving you equal energy back. You can sort of let them do their thing. And if they're like, well, you're not helping me and blah, 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 then again, you say, no, I am helping you. You're not helping yourself. Like, I'm doing my part, but this is a team effort. You have to do your part too. And as a coach, you'll have to decide if they're worth and I don't mean this to be mean. I'm not saying somebody's not worth it, but at a certain point, is it worth your time and your energy and your struggle for somebody who refuses to do the work and give back what you're giving? So you kind of have both of those categories of like the person who really is trying and they're just dealing with such a deep issue that they are going to mess up a lot before they get to the other side. And then there is just the person who just wants to have a bunch of excuses so they don't have to do the work. And I think those are the sort of two ways that I would handle it.
Thank you. Really, really good answers. Help yourself. Yeah.
Who else?
Who else?
Got some from the team, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, there's one part of the workout programs for me that I always fell in love with, and I still talk about it this day, and I have a lot of challenges that say the same thing, and I've always wondered, you say like the most appropriate things at the appropriate time in your workouts. I don't know if I always wondered if it was planned, because it's like every minute that I or any of my challenges were about to quit, you'd be like, there's 1 minute left, there's this left, you have 10 seconds to go.
Get your
Let it
shoulders
go.
out of your ears.
Like every single time it was at like the most perfect moment for where, for me myself was going to quit. And was that ever something that was planned, or was that like you just were in the moment doing? Because I mean, it's literally almost every single time it was.
Well, thank you. It's not planned at all. When we're filming the workouts, we film in time. So when we're filming lower fix, we're filming 30 minutes straight. So from the moment they yell action and I introduce hey guys, welcome to lower fix, here's what we have today, that's it. We're rolling. There are no cuts. I don't like cuts. I get really angry if they yell cut. Like it happens every once in a blue moon, like if a light fixture falls, but like I'll be darned if it's going to be on because of me. So when we start, we are in it. And I'm in it and the background cast is in it. So my background cast they're not superhuman either. Like it's just as hard for them, like, yeah, they're fitness people, but like, it's still a hard workout. So they're experiencing the same thing that you guys are. And I'm watching that around me. Like as I'm walking around and I'm talking, I can see when they're failing. So they need the motivation as much as you guys do. And I know that if they're failing, and they are my fitness people, then my people at home are struggling and they probably need a pep talk too. I think it just comes with, I've been doing this for so long. I've been a trainer for 13 or 14 years now, but I was a dancer and a competitive dancer and went to school as a dance major. And I had a lot of great positive influences on me as a kid when I was dancing and a lot of horrible negative ones when I was in college. So I think it's a skill that I've been lucky to refine over the years, but it's definitely not planned. It's just, like I said, that my background people that are with me, they are with you guys too, So like I said, if they're going down, I know you guys are too. And that's the time for me to step up and do my job and give whatever pep talk is needed to make sure you guys make it through that minute. So
You don't just like to pick on Cupcake.
I do love to pick on Cupcake. I absolutely love picking on Cupcake, but he likes it. He loves it, actually.
Who's the one with the lower? Is it yeah.
Cupcake's the one with the big beard.
No, like you're talking about when you're like, pick up some girl weight.
Yeah.
No, that's not Cupcake. That's not Cupcake. That is G in 21 Day Fix. It's G.
Girl weights.
We could probably
Yes. Who also, I know people always think that I was like, I've gotten people being like, you're so mean. Why would you say that? I'm like, oh my gosh, wait, what you guys don't know is like, we're friends. So like, it's okay for me to pick on him. Like, I know, like we have that relationship where I can totally tease him like that. But yes, everybody's like, I can't believe you just said that to him. I'm like, no, we're good.
All right, who else? Question.
I have a question. So what is your take on the whole like high fat, low carb and how it fits into, because obviously as coaches, we kind of deal with a lot of the trendy things. Like people be like, oh yeah, I think that's nice what you're doing, but I'm really doing keto right now. Or, oh, that's nice what you're doing, but I'm trying, high fat, low carb, but they don't even know what they're taught. They don't even know what they're doing.
Right. I don't even know where, like, I mean, I'm very aware of where the keto diet came from. It's just all of a sudden sprung up out of nowhere lately. And everybody is talking about the keto diet and they're doing ketosis, and not even everybody understands what it is. They know it's high fat, low carb, but they really don't know how to work that necessarily. Or they read one like Men's Fitness or Women's Fitness magazine and they're like, oh yes. Here's the thing. There's a lot of diets that work for specific people at specific times for specific reasons. The keto diet is one of them, in my opinion. It's something that can be used at a specific time for a specific situation to get a specific result. A lot of fitness competitors use it. A lot of fitness competitors use it because they can shred out fast from it. The thing is it very much, it is the epitome of a diet. It's not real life. You're eating super high fat. You're eating super low carbohydrates. And that is not how our bodies really function. We do need a balance of our macronutrients. And people will say things like, well, that's not, the paleo diet, and the cavemen ate a different way, and blah, 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 blah. But the cavemen lived a very different life than we live. They hunted for their food, right? They ran from tigers. Like they had to do things that we did. They were building their houses from hand. Like, they weren't sitting on an iPhone all day and sitting at a desk and watching TV and driving around in a car. So it's not to say we can't take principles of how different people have eaten over different times and incorporate them. But using super strict sort of theories of like, oh, well, 100 years ago they did this, so that should work. You have to live that whole life if you want that to work. You have to, again, like I said, live the caveman life if you're going to say, well, I'm going to only eat like a caveman. And with ketosis and being high fat and low carb, there's parts of your brain that strictly function on carbohydrates. Your muscles need carbohydrates. They also need healthy fats. They also need proteins, but they need a balance. Your whole system needs this beautiful little balance of all these different things happening throughout the day, second by second, to work at its optimum level. And when you start to play with things and go, oh, super high fat, like, what are all the things we know about what a lot of fat can do to our arteries and things like that? Because then you're like, well, what high fat are you getting? Where are you getting it from? Like, do you just get super excited that you get to eat high fat? You're eating bacon and da-da-da, because it's a different kind of fat than eating an avocado. But so for me, again, if somebody wanted to use it for a very specific reason, for a very specific time period, fine. Will it work? It'll work. More than likely, it's going to work. They'll lose weight. They'll shred out. There's some other things that people don't realize that happen. Talk to somebody who's really in ketosis, but make sure you stand about 15 feet away from them. Their breath is the worst thing you will ever smell in your life. It's true. It just is. There's things that are happening in your gut. You're trying to process all this fat and all this protein, and you don't have the carbohydrates, and you're not eating fruit or anything like that. Like, you're out of balance. So it comes out. Their BO is terrible. Their breath is terrible. I was around plenty of fitness competitors who were in ketosis, and I was like, oh my God, I can't have this conversation with you right now. So if that's happening inside, that to me is an indication that like things aren't going well, right? Like you shouldn't be able to kill somebody with your breath because of the way you're eating. So again, I get it. Everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon. Everybody wanted to jump on Atkins when it came out, and South Beach diet when it came out, and paleo. And again, I love paleo. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of days where I eat lots of paleo recipes. It's just, for me personally, my philosophy is to stay balanced. That's really what it's all about. It's not the quick fix. It's not 21-day fix works. The nutrition works because what people don't realize is we normally eat so bad. Like, as Americans, the standard American diet is so bad that when people start eating like 21-day fix, portion fix, it very much is a very, very plant heavy diet. If you think about how many green containers you get a day, how many purple containers you get a day, and then your yellows, those are still usually a plant, quinoa, brown rice, potatoes, that's something growing from the ground. It's still plant-based. Your blues, if you're eating avocado, that's plant-based. Your nuts, your seeds, those are plant-based. So 21-day fix is a very plant-heavy diet that like people, they're like, oh, it's the portion control. I'm losing weight because I'm eating so little. Well, anybody who's done it knows you're not eating that little, but you're eating way healthier than you have been. You're probably eating way more fruits and vegetables than you ever have in the past. And that is a huge component to why people start to see such great results so fast. So I know that's a very long-winded answer. But if I were to sum it up, like I said, yeah, I think it's a trend right now. I think it's a fad, and people like to follow what is in the news, and they'll see results from it up front. But I guess the question is, are they looking for short-term success or like long-term health and success? Because there's going to be a difference.
Question, which was that kind of goes, the trendy thing was the intermittent fasting as well. And like people who do, I'm hearing that a lot, like, oh, I'm intermittent fasting. And, it's just that. So what's your take on intermittent fasting? When is it appropriate? How would you approach it?
Well, aside from people who only sleep for 5 or 6 hours a night, everybody intermittent fasts every single day of their life. So again, we don't live that lifestyle anymore where like we're feast or famine. We have a very different, very active lifestyle all throughout the day. So I don't believe in saying like, I'm going to cram all my food into this short time period, and then I'm not going to give my body any fuel for a very long time period. That's a great way to mess up your metabolism, in my opinion. You're constantly confusing your body as to if it's getting nutrients or not getting nutrients. But when I say we all intermittent fast every day, if you eat dinner at 6 or 7 o'clock and that's your last meal of the day, and you're in bed by 10 and you don't get up the next day until 6, you've just you've just gone 11 hours with no food. That's half of a day. That's almost half of a 24-hour period. That's plenty that's why you should wake up hungry. You've gone 11 hours. Your body needs fuel. Again, we are living super sedentary lifestyles in a lot of ways, but we're not living this lifestyle where there isn't food and fuel available to us. And if you can feed your body every couple of hours small amounts of food, I just think that that's going to be so much better than, okay, I get 4 hours where I'm allowed to eat. So you have to fit a whole day's worth of food into like 4 hours or 6 hours or however that time frame is that they're doing it in. You're stretching out your stomach again, right? So like your stomach is the size of your fist. It can only handle so much food at once before it starts to stretch out, and it's going to take more food to fill it up the next time. So if you're cramming all that food into such a short period of time, chances are you're probably stretching your stomach out, and eventually you're not going to want to intermittent fast for life. I would assume most people aren't going to maintain that for life. So when they go back to this regular way of eating where they can spread the food out throughout the day, their stomach is stretched out there because they're used to cramming in so much in such a short period of time that chances are they're going to become an overeater. So again, you've used something, you've tried to use the magic pill and the trick, but what's the long-term effect? I guess that's sort of the question I always ask when it comes to whatever new nutrition plan comes out is, what's the long-term effect? Do I want to eat high-fat, low carbs forever? Is that sustainable? Maybe some guys really like that. Maybe they're like, oh, I don't need carbs, and they just want their fat and their meat. But like for most people, that's not going to be sustainable. Eventually they're going to want to add some fruit back in. They're going to want to add some carbs in. So they're going to have to recalibrate their body to find that balance, because their body's not going to be used to having had that food. And it's the same thing with intermittent fasting. What's the long-term effect? Am I going to do this for the rest of my life? Do I really think I can maintain this for a long period of time? Because if I don't, when I come off of it, what is that going to feel like? I'm really used to cramming in a lot of food in a short period of time. So now I have to get used to spacing that back out again. What could be the positive or negative side effects of that? And I wish people would look at it like that more and realize if they just eat real food, eat it in the right portions, keep it balanced. It doesn't have to be this stressful, like, I'm going to take on this next trend because this is going to be the thing that makes me look so fabulous. Like, I'm all for looking fabulous. I want to look good in a bikini too, but I want to be healthy while I do it. And I don't want it to just last for my one vacation. I want to feel good all year round. I want to be able to go on vacation in January and feel as good in my bikini as I did in July. So I'm always for a more realistic approach to nutrition and just fueling your body properly on a regular basis.
Exactly. It's like such a mindset. Like, it's fuel. It's not, putting a Band-Aid on your emotion. It's fuel.
When you got the
Exactly.
21-day fix, like what I have this great idea, and do you like go to just call Carl and be like, hey, like, how did that happen?
No. They found me. No, 21 Day Fix. I mean, guess technically it was a lifetime in the making. I mean, I was working with private clients. I'm sure you guys have heard the salad story where I was out at lunch with a client. She ate a very large salad. And I was like, that's part of our problem because that salad is still huge and stretch. And again, it goes back to that whole stretching out your stomach. You ate all your calories for the day in one meal. And she was like, oh, it's just a salad. But I was like, when we looked up like the nutrition on it, it was like 1,700 calories, which is ridiculous. And so that's sort of where the portion control container idea was born, was like, how am I going to show people that, you know, we've turned into this supersized, oversized, family sized society, and it shows, and we need to get back to like what is the real size and what we really should be eating. And I actually, when I first developed the containers, it was just a container system. They were clear, they weren't color coded. And I worked with a nutritionist to basically go down like a very long list of foods of like, what's the proper ounces of this? What's the proper ounces of that? So I had like 12 different containers for everything, and it was called Change My Plate, and I had launched it on like the Hallmark Channel on a TV show called Home and Family. And I had been a personal trainer already for like probably 8 years at the time, and I had a few celebrity clients, and I had some YouTube stuff up. And one of my clients that was in the movie industry, I had given them Change My Plate, the box. I was like, oh, it's finally done, because they knew my ventures. I saw them multiple times a week, and I was like, here you go, like this is it. And they had a friend who was incredibly overweight that they were trying to like encourage to lose weight, and he happened to work for Sony, and they were like, oh, here, like look what our trainer created. And he was the one who was like, oh, cool. He was like, I actually know somebody who might like this, like might be interested in this. Can I pass it along? And that was somebody here at Beachbody. Her name's Heather Church. At the time, her role was sort of head of product development. So he sent it to her. So she looked at it. They then looked me up on YouTube, saw my stuff. Then they brought me in for a meeting, and the rest is history. And once I signed my contract, they bought Change My Plate from me. Then we were able to revise it to be what I wanted it to be. You know, when you have Beachbody behind you, you can perfect it. When I was doing it on my own, there was only so much money to make it what I wanted it to be. And so we were able to color code everything and really do like all the food lists. And then obviously being a personal trainer as well, we were able to put workouts along with it. So it was a long time.
So speaking of containers and food, what is your go-to, I don't like to say cheap, but treat meal?
It's pizza and wine. I don't know if everybody knows this about me. Bobby and I talk about it a lot on Fixate, but our dad owned an Italian restaurant growing up. Like, we actually owned a couple. So we grew up on pizza, pastas, and subs, and they were all homemade recipes, family recipes. I don't eat pizza that often anymore, but it is still like my all-time favorite food. Like, if I could eat it every day, I would. So yeah, when I'm looking for like I get to just kind of have whatever I want day, it's pizza and a really good glass of wine.
To our
Now, is this real pizza or is it gluten-free pizza?
No, it's normally real pizza. Like up until the last couple of months, it would have been real pizza. I'm still working on some gut issues that we're finally getting to the bottom of, which will be fantastic in another couple of weeks when we get some final test results back. And hopefully we can get everything balanced back out so that because I've been having a hard time processing anything. So animal protein, like I don't really ever eat dairy, but obviously if I'm going to have pizza, I would have real cheese on my pizza. So yeah, the last couple of months, it would be fake gluten-free vegan cheese pizza.
That's so sad.
Which means the wine has to be really, really good to make up for it. But like I said, hopefully a few more weeks, maybe another month or so, and we'll sort of have everything balanced back out.
So how many days a week are you 100% on the plan?
Oh God, like literally it varies week to week. And I don't know if there's ever a week where I'm 100. I mean, back in my competition days, absolutely, because I didn't have a choice to be. I was 100% on for 4 or 5 months straight. But I just don't live that restricted anymore. Like, I don't feel like I have to be 100% on unless I'm getting ready for like a big shoot. Like if we're getting ready to shoot a product or something like that, of course I want to be in tip-top shape. And not that I don't feel like I'm in tip-top shape, but right now life gets busy. So as long as I'm getting my workouts in at least 5 days a week, then I'm good. But like right now, I swear to God, whatever sickness has been going around, it's made it through my house like 7 times already. Like I had it for a week. Well, actually it started with my sister a couple months ago. She had it, then I got it. Then I think her son got it. Then I somehow got it again. Then I got back from Punta Cana and my nephew got it again. Then my son got it and my sister has it again today. So she's like on her deathbed right now. So it's like with how much that's circling around my house for whatever reason, I swear to God, it's been disinfected like every other day. But it's like, oh, I'm sick. I can't work out today. Like that happens. Or like, oh, Dom's sick. No matter how many times I tried to walk into the gym and get the workout in, it was, Mom, come lay with me. I don't feel good. And those are not my excuse days. Those are just real life. It's like your kid is sick and they want to be cuddled. You kind of like, you're like, okay, I got to be there for my kid, of course. And it's okay. I'm going to give up my time for them. So I try to be on as much as I possibly can, but without beating myself up about like, oh my God, no, I missed a workout. I'm at a maintenance level for myself. So for me, I think I get to have a little bit more leeway because I'm not still in that like, oh my gosh, I have to get to this point. I'm sort of like, I'm good. I just need to maintain where I'm at. And if I've got a shoot coming up, I know very quickly how to dial it in and my body will respond pretty quickly. So that makes it a little bit easier. But I mean, I'm never like super far off. So 90% of the time
It's a
I'm
lifestyle.
on.
Any new programs?
Yeah, it really is. It's my life. So,
Any new programs in the next year?
I'm not allowed to answer those questions.
We'll know when she's going back into tip-top.
I could be working on one right now. I wouldn't be allowed to say it. Like, we keep everything on lockdown secrets around here. So right now we're focused on Fix 8. We've got a June shoot coming up. So yes.
I would love to see you do like a bar workout.
Oh yeah.
Like a pure, like how a lot of people like Pure Bars. Like I have a lot of like challengers who do Pure Bar in addition to their Beachbody workouts, just as a variety. And I would love,
Yeah.
But everybody consistently says that bar legs is their favorite 21-day fix workout. And it would be awesome to have like, even if it was like how they're doing Sean Week, if we did like an autumn bar week or I don't know, like just something like that.
I know. I would love it. I would love it too. And that might, if we were to ever get it, it would probably be in that capacity because it's still in the grand scheme considered a niche market, even though obviously there's plenty of studios out there making good money off of it. So trust me, there's a long laundry list of things I would love to do. So I'm always throwing them out there. I'm always recommending them. I try to incorporate some of it now into like my move of the days when you see me put them up on like social media and then they move over to like my YouTube channel. So I do definitely hear that. And, maybe I'll incorporate some more into like the move of the days. Like I might do like a bar dedicated month where like a month of the move of the days are bar moves that you guys can sort of mix and match.
I'll do it. I'm in.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Maybe I'll focus on that for next month because we're about to shoot like all my move of the days for next month. So I'll keep that in mind.
Awesome.
Does anybody else have questions?
Thank you so much. Any last minute closing for us to like? Oh yeah, let's take a big selfie.
I want to tell her one thing. It's
I'm gonna
not a
make you.
question.
I'm gonna make you big. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? This is one thing. My friend was in the Fit Journey, Autumn's Fit. When you do,
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this out crying because I've known her for 20 years, and she's been obese her whole life, and she's down 100 pounds, and her life is just.
Wait, you're breaking up. Did you say she's down 100 pounds? Oh my goodness.
And she's like my best friend, and I never had the tool.
Oh,
It's just, our life has changed, and she wasn't going anywhere before that group. Like she was going slowly before that group started, and she's in my groups. And when she got into that group, you had liked some of her stuff, and she was so excited about it. She called you her buddy, you know, and like.
Oh,
she lives in West Palm Beach, and I'll see her in a couple weeks. But like, it just to watch somebody, like we are all in decent shape, and we don't have that like all. I don't know. That's a mental. She has a lot of psychological. And
yeah.
it's someone very close to me, and she's down 100 pounds, and she's still going. So a big
That's amazing.
because of that group. So thank you.
I love that. And you know, and first of all, tell her congratulations for me, because that's amazing. And let me say this, when we were in Punta Cana, I was bummed because obviously there were 2 waves and I didn't get to see everybody. And so whoever was on my wave, sort of, they got to hear me speak with Carl when we did our interview. And we were talking about the different Facebook groups that I have all the time. And he had asked me, he's like, sometimes coaches get mad that you will go on a Facebook group. And I said, he's like, talk about that. And I said, here's the thing, nobody should ever look at it that way. Like, when I put these big groups up, that's what they turn into. Like I say, I'm hosting a group, right? And they turn into 10, 20, 30, some of them 40,000 people in a group. That is such an amazing opportunity for coaches, because yes, I'm in there, but I could like 400 photos a day, and people would not, like, the other 40,000 would still think that, like, Autumn didn't come on and say anything today. But like, I might have spent the whole day liking photos and commenting on people's stuff, right? There's 40,000 people in there. There's only so much coaching I can do in a group. But the coolest thing about those groups is, like you said, your friends in your groups, right? She has you. She has a support system. But obviously, me being in there, she gets the opportunity for me to hopefully catch a photo and comment and like it and that sort of thing. But more importantly, there's 40,000 people going through the exact same journey, and that support to them, like, not that being in your groups isn't supportive too, but sometimes when they just see such a big number going through what they're going through, and they can look through all of those posts all day long and see different people every time, and they can talk to people, like, it's just such a huge opportunity. The group essentially runs itself. Like, I'm in there, like, I like popping in and saying hi and seeing what everybody's up to and answering questions when I can. But really, I put the group together for people to just meet each other. That's my reasoning behind it. It's like, let me get all these people that want to do this program in one spot and let them help each other. I can't help 40,000 people. I could spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in the group. I still can't help 40,000 people at once, but they can all help each other. So, and as coaches, you guys can come in there, and you don't have to look at it as like, well, I have to come in there and poach, or I have to come in there to try to make a client. Come in there and make a friend. Come in there and find somebody else to interact with, like, and cheer them on, because again, that's what we are about as Team Beachbody. Like, they might not be on your team. They might have a different coach, but we want them to love us as a whole and what we stand for as a whole. So I think it's so much more motivating too when another coach that can clearly not benefit from them in any way says, great job, you're doing awesome. Like, you're so inspiring. Can I share your story with my challengers? Like, that's so great. Like, that builds them up even more than when their coach says it. Because sometimes, and this, I don't mean this in the wrong way, but they think, well, that's my coach and I bought from them, so of course they have to tell me good job. But all of a sudden they start seeing other people telling them good job, and they're like, oh, I really am doing a good job. And then maybe they go tell their friend, and they're like, oh, well, this coach liked my stuff. They live by you. Like, maybe you should check it out. Like, there's just so many ways to it doesn't always have to be about the money, because the money will come if it's comes from the heart. So I love that she had such amazing success, and that group is helping her so much, and that she has you that got her in, but that she also had that other opportunity to whatever it was. There was something obviously about that gave her a little bit more of a oomph. And so she got to have both. She got to have this oomph over here, and she got to have you for more one-on-one support. And I just think that that's awesome. So congratulations to both of you guys.
Okay. All right, we're gonna take a selfie with you on this big giant.
Okay, let me look at the camera, because I keep looking. It probably looks like I'm looking down, but I'm looking at your faces and not at the camera. Because if I look at the camera, then I'm just talking to like a little eye dot and not you guys. So I'm sorry if it looks like that.
We're looking at Lindsay's humongous TV on the wall, and you're on
Okay.
my computer, so where the heck to look? But should we come over here and do it? Like,
Oh, I see what
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
she's really here.
You're really here.
Ah.
Like we're right now. So she has no idea what we're doing right now.
Sorry.
Okay, so our face is gonna be.
I figured, I'm like, they're getting into position. It's okay. I'm trying to make sure.
We're not turning our backs to you on purpose.
Wait, do we have to do it like this? Like that way?
I got it.
No,
in the
she's gonna be on the
picture.
screen. She's gonna be our best friend right there.
Can you see us all?
Yep.
She's right in the middle.
Hold on.
See, and where are you gonna go?
She's
Lauren?
checking out Amber's hair. Looks great.
Smile. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That was
See
a
if it
serious
came out.
serious.
Make sure nobody blinked.
You got it. It's awesome. Everyone's
Does it look
looking,
good?
and it's a burst. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
yes.
Can't see us.
you.
Here we
You
are.
are welcome. Thank you, ladies, for having me on. Congratulations for all of your hard work. Keep it up, and I hope I get to see you guys all at Summit.
Right.
Yes, we'll be there.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Great job.